Hi, lovely and darling viewers. It's Jen here at Check Her Joy. This time I'm reviewing Loving Capes by Tom Zahler. This is volumes 1, Do You Want to Know a Secret? And volume 2, Going to the Chapel. These are each 6-issue volumes, so 1 through 6 and then 7 through 12. And these are superhero romantic sitcom comics. So they tell the personal life and romantic journey of a superhero Crusader and his girlfriend, then wife, Abby, as their relationship progresses. So we start off this journey when Mark first decides he's going to tell Abby that he is not a normal, boring accountant. I mean, yes, he's an accountant, but also he's a superhero. In fact, he is Crusader, the superhero who defends their city of Deco City. And he basically has Superman-like powers. He can fly really fast, he has super strength, he's imperious to bullets, so that kind of superhero. But we're mostly focusing on the not superhero aspect. So, being a superhero complicates things a lot. So, Abby and Mark will be on a date, and then he needs to, run off and save somebody and then come back and try to do this really quickly without her noticing. He's always coming up with excuses. And it's starting to wear thin. He really, really loves her. He trusts her, but feels like they can't move on with their relationship unless she knows everything about him. So he makes the decision to tell her that he is a superhero. And then we're following their relationship as it progresses, as Abby is dealing with this. How does she process it? So, like I said, this is set up like a sitcom. So we have this very situational comedic stuff happening. We have Mark and Abby out on a date, and Mark needing to go away because he hears somebody in danger, and then rushing back, and Abby's like, "Oh, okay, how was the trip to the restroom?" Completely oblivious. So comedic stuff like that. And the superhero stuff does play into this. It's not completely ignoring it. We have him hanging out with his best friend. He was also another superhero trying to get advice up on the rooftops in a different city. And Mark's ex-girlfriend, he used to date one of the other superheroes. She plays a huge role in this series. And we do get to see stuff like the League's satellite that they use as a base that's orbiting Earth, and having him do patrol duty with Abby alongside him. But for the most part, there aren't any huge battles happening on page. Some of them do happen and do play a part in their relationship, especially as Abby becomes this bigger part of his life. She also becomes a bigger part of him being a superhero. So, Volume 2 in particular had more of him fighting superhero battles, with her being involved in them. So I just like the minor moments that they're having together. Stuff like having to meet each other's family for the first time, spending the holidays together. What is your first holiday together like when you're dating, but not engaged or anything? So the everyday life, when he shows up at our apartment, and he doesn't use the door because he's a superhero, so he flies up to her balcony. That kind of stuff is really cute and really sweet and really romantic. I love the day-to-day stuff. The day-to-day realities about what a superhero would have to do. There are tons of situational things that happen in here. We see Mark getting really jealous of one of the other superheroes called Arachnerd, who gets his own movie. And Crusader's like, hey, my best friend is the head of the production company, making all the superhero movies. Why don't I have my own superhero movie yet? And he gets so jealous. One of the issues deals with Abby, as she's a bookstore owner, hosting the book release for Amazonia, who is Mark's ex-girlfriend. And she's like, I need the business, and it's amazing that she picked my bookstore to do her book premiere here. So she's got to suck up her personal feelings and deal with this in a very professional manner, which I loved and enjoyed seeing Abby struggle with that. She's like, he's with me now, I know he loves me and doesn't love her anymore, but also I'm jealous because she is super gorgeous and has all these powers and tons of money, and it's just, I love that kind of stuff. I ate this whole series up, honestly. Volume 2 starts off with Mark deciding that he is going to propose And first he's got to come up with the perfect situation in which he is going to do that. So trying to figure out how to propose to Abby in a way that is going to be something that she enjoys. And isn't going to embarrass her too much. So, like, his original plan, like, Charlotte, the sister, is like, whoa, don't do that. She will hate that. And then he starts second-guessing himself and, like, what do I actually do that is going to be the perfect proposal? Then we see them engaged. Also, within Volume 2, we see Abby just planning the wedding and trying to especially find the perfect dress. And when she does find the perfect dress, it is designed by Amazonia, the ex-girlfriend of Mark, who Abby doesn't particularly like. And she's got to struggle with, that's the dress I want, it's made by the woman that I hate, it's made by Mark's ex-girlfriend, it's also ridiculously expensive. So we see Abby struggling with, like, planning the wedding. There are a few struggles along the way of actually getting to the altar. I don't really want to spoil the wedding itself, so I don't want to show you pictures of that. Volume 2 also sees Charlotte, the sister, getting a chance to study in Paris, seeing Abby and Charlotte say goodbye, how their relationship changes, how they're planning a wedding when they're on 2 different continents. Yes, Mark can, like, fly her to Paris, but also what happens when Mark is called away and you're stuck in Paris without your passport, and you have no record of entering, there's no, like, legal record of you entering a foreign country. How do you think your way through that? What if he doesn't come back? What if you're just stuck? How do you get back to your life in the United States? So tons of complications with that. There is also an issue in here where Abby is able to get superpowers for a while and gets to experience what Mark's life is like and really tries to understand the being a superhero and all the complications that come with it. So we get to see Abby as a superhero, which is pretty awesome. I really love this series. I pretty much knew I was going to love it going into it, though. Like, I love watching sitcoms. I love romance. I love superheroes. And I especially love the personal aspect of it. I love getting to see them deal with everyday adventures and falling in love and trying to balance relationships while having these really ridiculous things happen to them. So I absolutely adore Love and Capes by Tom Zahler. Let me know in the comments below if you've been reading the series and what you thought of it. So I've also been reading the My Little Pony comics. Tom Zahler writes some of those, which are so cute and adorable. And I know he has a couple of comics up on Webtoons that I will be reading shortly. But let me know in the comments below, is there anything else by him that I should be reading? Are there any other similar comics out there that deal with the relationship aspect? I know the Superman comics do a lot with, like the current Superman comics do a lot with Clark and Lois and their son John, like them trying to have a normal life, but also like he's a superhero and Lois Lane is like a famous journalist, so I also love those, honestly. I love the everyday stuff. I'm honestly not that big a fan of like fight scenes, so it's the personal stuff that really gets me interested, and there's so much of that in here that I ate it up. Peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.